At the 2 spot, Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Alabama is ranked 8th in the AP poll, and they'll lose their starting quarterback, Milroe, from last year, but I don't think Alabama really had the best plan for Milroe. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer, if Milroe really fit his system exactly the way he wanted them to. So I don't know how big of a loss that's going to be. You get Ty Simpson back. And shout out to Jalen Milroe. Thank goodness, for LSU fans that he's gone. Shout out Milroe and the Lank Nation. Let a naysayer know that Milroe is gone. And that's a good thing for LSU because you don't have to face that running quarterback. But what are you going to get with Simpson? Is Simpson better equipped to run Kalen DeBoer offense? We're going to find out. And he's got some great weapons to do it. I mean, and my top 5 returning SEC receivers on lastwordonsports.com. Check me out, Last Word on Sports. Anyway, I've got 2 Alabama guys in my top 5. And, of course, Ryan Williams is the best returning receiver in the conference. So Alabama is not going anywhere. Yeah, they lost some talent, but they'll bring back a lot. When you consider the talent on Alabama's team, yeah, they went 9-3 last year, but that was a transition year. You got a new coach. Like I said about Elko at A&M, there's a lot that goes into that. It's not just, I got a talented team, we'll pick up where we left off. No, everybody has to figure out how everybody operates, expectations, the way you do things, scheme. Do the players that you have fit what you want to do? How do you make it fit? And just by pure talent, your blue chip ratio, which is how many, pretty much your blue chip ratio is you want to have more 4- and 5-star guys than you have 2- and 3-star guys. Alabama has a blue chip ratio of 89%, which is tied for tops in the country with Ohio State. 89% of that roster is 4- and 5-star guys. That's saying a lot. If you're just curious about LSU is 7th. So that's competitive. That's good enough to get you in these conversations of, postseason football, of playoff football. But 89% is elite. And it just says a lot about how much they're bringing back. And I talked about them offensively, but they're also bringing back a lot on defense. So Alabama will be a huge challenge. And let's face it, LSU they don't win often in Tuscaloosa. In fact, it took the best team ever in 2019 to win in Tuscaloosa. Other than 2019, LSU hasn't won there since 2011. So even if I thought Alabama sucked, I'd still put this game in the top 5 because it's hard to go to Tuscaloosa and get a win. At number 2, I have Alabama. Number 1, LSU's biggest challenge and toughest game of the season. And they're number 1 for more reasons than one. Some of it is because of what they are as a team, and some of it is because of LSU's recent history, but it's Clemson. Clemson, first game of the year, you're going at Clemson, at Dabo Swinney, at the other Death Valley, and Clemson is ranked the number 4. They're ranked 4th in the AP poll. Very veteran team. First rounders all over the place. Starting at quarterback, you got Cade Klubnik, who will also be in that conversation with Nussmeier, with Lenore Sellers, as far as the top quarterback or the first quarterback to come off the board in that spring. But Klubnik is very impressive. He's not like huge. He's probably around 6'1", 6'2" at the most, but he can make all the throws. He's got complete command of the offense. He can run. He can take a lick. He's tough. But one of the biggest traits for me for a quarterback is remaining calm and composed. And you can't rattle him. You cannot rattle Cade Klubnik. Kind of like I said about Lagway, you got to sack him. Like, just bringing pressure isn't enough. he'll take the pressure, he'll take the hit, and he'll make an accurate pass. So Klubnik is going to be a problem, but he's not alone. Clemson is loaded, and I'll get more into this as we get closer to the season, and we'll do a full preview of LSU against Clemson. But I can tell you now, you got 3 NFL guys at receiver. 2 of them are young, and Brian Wesco and TJ Moore. They'll come into their sophomore year. They made their marks last year as true freshmen. So Clemson has size at the receiver position. They have shifty guys, and they got the big body that can get down the field in Wesco. Offensive line is a veteran group. They'll lose their starting running back. If you can come up with a question for this Clemson team, is running back, and it's an important position, but it's not what it used to be in the Herschel Walker days, the Bo Jackson days. You can get by, and when you recruit at a rate that Clemson does, you will have a serviceable running back at that position. But Clemson just brings a lot, and it's another matchup nightmare similar to Florida, except they're more talented than Florida up front. You've got 2 guys in Peter Woods and TJ Parker, who are projected not only first-round picks, but top 10 picks. These guys are expected to go in the top 10 in the 26th draft. So they're absolutely loaded and at a position where LSU is vulnerable at D tackle or that D line position. LSU has a lot to get ready for, and they have to do it quick. And we can't ignore what we've seen in the last few years. I'll give Brian Kelly some grace. In earlier years, you got to figure out what you have as a team, what you have personnel-wise, what you're expecting from your coaches. So, you lose your first year in the game that could have gone either way against Florida State. Second year was let's face it, let's be honest, that was embarrassing. Got blown out by Florida State when you brought the worst LSU defense you've had since 2020. And the 24 year, you lose to USC, and I'll never call a loss inexcusable because it's college football. You got a lot of people playing at a high level. I don't think it's too often you should use words like inexcusable, but I will say that it's unaffordable. That's a loss that you can't afford. If you have playoff aspirations, you can't lose to a barely over 500 USC team who finished 9th in the Big Ten. So this is going to be a big year for LSU, a big game. And Clemson is also, it's going to be a big year for them. They'll have their most complete team that they've had in years. And they're thinking, Dabo is coming into this thinking that this is my year to prove everybody wrong. I'm going to come back. I'm going to win it again. I've got everything in place, defensively, offensively, and I'm going to win another championship doing it my way. And everybody that jumped the gun and said that I need to get with the times, I need to get in the portal, I need to do this, well, I won and I did it my way. So you got a lot of pressure on both sides. There's going to be more pressure on LSU because LSU will have a tougher schedule moving forward after that game. So I talk about all the talent on that Clemson roster, but they are beatable. You do have some question marks. Even with all the first rounders, Clemson was only 69th in total defense last year. So how? Playing in the ACC with first rounders all over the place, not only at your defensive line, at linebacker, in your secondary, you got Avion Terrell. He'll be a first rounder. So how are you 69th in total defense? Now, they did make a move to improve that. You got defensive coordinator Tom Allen from Penn State, who did a great job at Penn State. But it's his first year, and Blake Baker will tell you you're asking a lot to suddenly be dominant in your first year at the position of a school. So I just mentioned that Clemson was 69th, and by most accounts, people will say that LSU's defense was disappointing in 24. Well, they were 61st. So if you're going just by the numbers, which I know they can be a little tricky, stats on everything, rankings on everything, but if you're a 69th ranked defense in that conference, nothing against the ACC, but it's not the same, then that's woefully underachieving in my book, considering the talent you got. So you get Tom Allen, and I expect Tom Allen to kind of get that defense together, and by the end of the year, they'll be playing closer to the potential or where they should be. But along the way, there's going to be some confusion. There's going to be some coverage bust. It's just certain things that come with a new defensive system, a new defensive coordinator. And I don't care how many veterans you got, there's no way around it. You just got to get through those. You got to take your lumps. You got to take your lumps. And not everybody's going to be on the same page all the time. Now, taking your lumps against what could be the best group of wide receivers in the country. So there's a lot of storylines I can get into with Clemson LSU and why you can't really get intimidated by the talent on that roster, because Clemson still has some work to do as far as maximizing that talent on the defensive side of the ball. But for now, just know Clemson is your toughest game of the year right now. It's a game that could go either way, even though it's the toughest game. I wouldn't be shocked at all if LSU went to Death Valley, the other one, and won. So follow me at CFB on Twitter and TikTok. Like and subscribe. You got LSU's 5 toughest games. We talked about camp. I'll see y'all next week. Signing off.